Hey there everyone, welcome back to the Main Street Garden. It is officially mum season in Nebraska, and I wanted to show you guys how I was going to redo my planters to transition them into the fall season with a little bit more color. And this is going to pull us all the way to frost with these mums here. So stay tuned, we're going to go through it all today, and I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to get these guys into these planters. Before we get started swapping out the planters, I'll give you a close-up of the mums we're dealing with today. This one is planted in what appears to be a 1-gallon container, and it is a full 2 feet across. My local greenhouse really knows how to grow these fantastic, and you really get your money's worth. This mum here was only $8 or $9 after discount. It was a buy 3 get 1 free promotion, so you gotta bet that I maximized on that. These over here are the tricolors. They cost a little bit more. They're $24 a piece. That was before the buy 3 get 1 free, but look at that statement that they make. Again, they're a little bit bigger than these guys, and they're definitely a premium variety because these blooms are about the size of $50. For anyone who is wondering, this is the Garden Confetti series. This one is called Merino. This one is also the Garden Confetti series. This one is called Elway. And then these guys, they're gonna bloom pink. And the name on the tag is Chelsea Pink. All of my planters today are going to get a little bit of a glow up. This one got positively eaten by the sun coleus called Wicked Witch. It is a proven winners variety. This is over a yard across, and it did fantastic this summer, but it is time to go. Down here we had the Super Bells, which are beautiful right now, but unfortunately they're going to need to go. We're going to be leaving my Silver Falls. That looks fantastic all the way into winter, so it will serve as winter interest in this planter. Over here at my front door, we have a similar situation with the sun coleus in the back. We have a bit of a dragon wing begonia going on in front here that has really outdone itself. Note to self, trim this guy back midsummer next year. And then down here we have more of the Silver Falls. As you guys can tell, it is one of my favorite varieties, so it is used in basically all of my pots. In this planter here, we have an ice plant, and then we have Acapulco Impatience by Proven Winners. And this is going to get replaced as well. This is my 2 front planters. The left one has the same sun coleus. It is beautiful right now, but the mums are going to really do better moving into fall. We're going to leave this planter alone here. It still looks nice, and I don't have enough mums to go around to give it a mum as well. Begonias are not frost hardy, but it is underneath my canopy here. I have an open porch. It'll do fine enough, I guess. Let's go ahead and start pulling out some plants. This is always the hardest part of the year, pulling out some beautiful plants to replace them with other beautiful plants, but I guess change is with the season, so it is time for them to go. I just come in here right at the base, and it is an instantaneous and dramatic transformation to get rid of these sun coleus because they get so huge and they just snap right off. I'm taking you in closer just to see what we're left with here. There's a few dead leaves that we can pull off, but I'm keeping my Silver Falls Dichondria, and we're also going to be keeping the lemon sedum to trail down the front. I'm going to be digging into this planter, and if I need to get into the lemon sedum a little bit, I will, but generally speaking, you can tuck your mums in here pretty well while keeping the foliage interest in the front. My garden trowel is currently AWOL, so we're gonna make do with this. Sometimes it's very difficult to get out the root ball on those giant coleus just because they've been established so much. With a little bit of elbow grease, it too shall come out. The next step here is I'm going to hollow out a space in the back of this planter here so that the mum can fit. Again, sometimes this soil is really dense after a full growing season, so you just gotta sometimes use a little muscle. I'm gonna get as close as possible to these plants in the front. The goal is to get this pot to be able to fit into here, like so. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna take this pot that we just filled with dirt and I'm gonna sink it right in here. And then I'm gonna pack the dirt around it. The goal is to make this a little hole here that is nicely packed, and that way we can slide the mum right in without trouble. We'll do a wiggle to get it out. We'll see how well I did. Not bad. This front area here I'm gonna reshape just a little bit. So this is what we're looking for. We're looking basically for a perfect mold that we can set the mum into. And with any luck, he will slide just into there. Like so. We snug him in. And in theory, there should be no air gaps around him now, but I'm still gonna do my diligence and make sure that the soil is packed around it nicely. And then we can fluff the foliage accordingly. With mums, you have to be just a little bit careful with them because their stems can be delicate. You don't want to bend them too far. The goal is to have no air gaps because air gaps mean those roots are going to dry out. Here's our first planter that we've redone. I added a couple pumpkins on the side because I always love the way the Silver Falls wraps around them. This is only one season's worth of growing on Silver Falls, and I started with one plant, believe it or not. That's just a testament to how durable and vigorous this stuff is. For either shade or sunny locations, it's so versatile. You might have noticed that there's just a little bit of misbalance now due to losing the petunias on the side here. What I did was I turned it just a little bit, and then this flows here, and then I added pumpkins down here so that it offered a little bit better weight balance visually. Let's go ahead and do the next planter. On these two planters, we're going to continue forward with the same principle that we did in the first planter. We're removing the upper foliage and we're leaving the front trailing foliage. Whenever I need a pot to get a mold in the planter to set the mum in, I basically pull the mum out of this pot and I use this pot as the mold. They just pop right out and they should be root bound enough that the root ball stays together, just like that. In the moment of truth, we do the little squiggle wiggle, and out it comes. Sometimes these molds don't come out perfectly, so you just kind of grab the soil out of the bottom that's settled, and then we will fill in when we drop the plant in. With mums, always look for the side that you like the best so that it faces forward. And then plop it right in that hole. So with this one, the soil kind of settled. I will need to fill in about 1 inch. Again, to get the soil packed in just right, you just kind of go under here, lift up the branches gently, and then put that soil right under the branches. The goal is to make sure there's no empty spaces along the perimeter of the pot. Here are the next 2 planters that we just finished. Again, you can pull out some of this dead stuff that was left over from summer, but by and large, I like to salvage the trailing stuff for added interest. The final and most important step is to always remember to water your new planters. Believe it or not, there is an art to watering mums. You can see on top of this plant that these buds are so densely packed. When they fully open, this will be a complete ball of color. In order to get the water down into the plant without causing damage, what you do is you make a little part in the top of the plant, and then you water the plant through that partition that you just made. Always go liberal with the water, and by liberal, I mean give it heck. You always want to double check your mums to make sure that they're properly hydrated because they go dry so quickly. This particular mum in that 1-gallon pot, it would be wilting by the next day if I only watered it once a day. So it's important to always keep these hydrated, especially when they're in bloom, because that's when they're using the most water. Thank you for joining me on my fall planter reset. I'm really excited to see what these mums are going to do in the next couple weeks. If you enjoyed my video, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and give my video a thumbs up. Until next time, happy gardening.